Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video on the channel. Inside of today's video, we're going to be taking a look at 16 balance changes which are coming with the update, a ton of buffs, nerfs. We're going to be ranking all of the new hypercharges as well coming with the update, take a look at map changes and other things. So let's dive into it. So first, we're going to be taking a look at the buffs, and we have 9 buffs to go through, and the first one is with Gale. Gale's super charge rate has increased from his super. So in terms of in-game numbers, it's gone from 100 to 120. All you need to know is that it's around a 20% buff. I don't actually think it requires any less ammo when you hit somebody through your super, but it probably changes some interactions when you hit multiple people with your super. This just allows Gale to be a little bit better. It's a cool buff, but not as cool as today's sponsor. Before we get into today's video, I want to give a huge shout out to Samsung for sponsoring today's video. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra is the slickest and slimmest phone out there. It's great for everyday use and for the underrated gaming performance. This device is literally perfect for gaming. The S25 Ultra boasts a bigger 6.9-inch display and the slimmest bezels ever, making it much easier to grind on those long gaming sessions. The Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra also has the new Snapdragon Elite 8 processor, which helps boost performance like never seen before, and is fully customized for Samsung. Not only is the gaming powerful, but the NPU is 40% stronger, helping for faster AI processing. And the Snapdragon 8 Elite processor is also the engine for AI, helping for a more seamless AI experience. But one of my personal favorite things is, even with the improved performances, the S25 Ultra doesn't overheat even with my long rank grinds. This is thanks to a larger vapor chamber, which helps with sustained high performance whilst gaming. So what are you waiting for? Make sure to check out the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra using the link in the description below. There truly isn't a better device out there, so check it out right now. Next up, we have a huge buff with Crow. His health is being increased from 4,800 to 5,600 as seen in Brawl Talk. That's a 17% buff. That is absolutely massive. And when you add on the defensive booster gadget on top of this, he's going to be quite a, well, not a tanky assassin. He's going to be nowhere near as squishy. I feel like Crow's definitely going to go up a few tiers. I'm not talking anything broken. I mean, maybe that's 20% buff really is substantial. Rosa is next on the buff list, and she's receiving a main attack damage buff going from 920 per punch to 1,000. This is a 9% damage buff overall. This is absolutely massive with Rosa as well. She struggled a lot of departments in this meta in terms of just getting outranged, but even the counters that she should have countered, so for example Ash and Buster, before she could just destroy, and she just couldn't in this meta. Now she definitely can with his damage buff. So to talk about how it scales, you can actually, with the damage style power and the damage gear active, which you both run with Rosa normally, 1,500 per punch. So with 2 pieces of ammo, you can deal like 9k damage, which is absolutely insane. Rosa's definitely going to be bumped up a few tiers in the meta. Fang is next on the buff list, and I don't think anybody asked for this one. His super damage is going from 2,400 to 3,000, guys. That is a 25% buff. That is just insane. When you pair this with the hypercharge damage boost as well, is Fang fully back in the meta? I don't think he's going to be crazy broken, but he's definitely going to be bumped up a few tiers as well. The biggest drawback is still it takes a long time to charge his hypercharge, but he's going to be confirming so many kills now. He's finally going to be usable. I'm hoping he's going to be somewhat balanced. That's probably where he's going to end up. Next on the buff list is Kaze. She's receiving a HP buff from 7,600 to 8,000, which is a 5% buff in total. Only 400 health points added on, which I'm a little bit surprised they buffed Kaze already. I mean, the stats are obviously going to be pretty bad because the majority of the playbase aren't good. Even I struggled to make Kaze work, but the good pro players, they played a lot of Kaze. I think she's in the balance range, so for her to already receive a slight buff, I think that leads to me thinking that the dev team thinks she's strong, but we just want to give her a little bit of love. Next up, we have a buff with Ems. She's receiving a buff to her main attack damage, going from 1,040 to 1,120, so overall an 8% damage buff. I've been talking for years how Ems has been needing a buff. In low trophy ranges, she's pretty good, but in pro play, she's just so easy to counter. Now it actually feels like she'll be a tank counter. That's what she's there for, with her super slow, with her main attack, attack, 8% damage buff. This is going to be substantial, not anything crazy, but at least make him maybe like a viable pick in a few maps. Next we have a buff with Sam. He's receiving a hypercharge rate buff going from 20 to 25 in value numbers. This is a 25% buff. What you guys need to know is that from needing around 5 supers or whatever you wanted to call it to 4 supers, it just got to take a lot quicker, like 25% faster hypercharge rate. Like, let's face it, I think even in pro play I saw players literally taking nearly 3 minutes to charge his hypercharge. Let's just say it might take around 2 minutes 20 instead. So this is a big change. Sam's hypercharge is still fundamentally absolutely broken, so they've got to be careful with this one. Next we have a buff with Cordelius. His HP is going from 6,400 to 6,800, which is a 6% HP buff. I've been saying for a while now, Cordelius has kind of been forgotten. He's been balanced, but on the lower side of balance, if you get what I mean. He's not really being pushed as a brawler to really hard counter those types of tanks or Chuck or Primo, etc. So this would allow him just to survive those 1 versus 1s a little bit more. I could just see him becoming maybe like a high B-tier brawler now. Lastly on the buff list we have Charlie. She's receiving a main attack range buff going from 8.33 tiles to 9 tiles. It's an 8% buff overall, so pretty decent. If you guys were wondering, this actually reverts her nerf from April 2024. This was a big nerf, and she received like 2 lots of free nerfs in a space of a couple of months, and that's what really shot down the meta. So in April 2024 she received some nerfs to her range and supercharge rate, hypercharge rate, and then 2 months later she received a damage nerf. But what they've done over time is that they've reverted all of these nerfs pretty much from those sets of nerfs. Like, she still received probably like another 10 on top of that, but maybe we're going to see a really strong Charlie again, is what I was trying to say, because that main attack range looks pretty nice now. So now we're going to be moving on to the nerf. Starting off with Hank. He's receiving a shield gadget cooldown nerf from 15 seconds to 18 seconds. So literally the nerf that I wanted with Hank. I think for the majority of the play base, I don't think Hank's too strong, but very strong and competitive. I don't want to kill Hank too much yet. So I think the shield gadget is low-key one of the reasons why he's so strong. It's a really good nerf. Next we have a nerf with Chester. He's receiving a super charge rate nerf from his super, going from 100 to 80. It's really hard to tell this nerf, but the big reason why they've done it is, again, another thing that I was asking for, is with Chester's hypercharge. So with Chester's hypercharge, you could just cycle them like crazy, because you'd hit a dynamite super onto someone and then it'll just charge your super back like crazy. So making this change hopefully makes it so he's not going to charge 2 or 3 hypercharges in a row in that short duration. Let's see how it plays out. Next we have a nerf with Gus. He's receiving a hypercharge rate nerf going from 2.5 supers to get his hypercharge to 3 supers. So this just takes an extra 2 shots. We start to see the play rates of Gus just go through the roof. This just makes it so it's a little bit more vulnerable to those assassins, but at the same time you kind of waited until you got 3 supers to use that hypercharge anyways, right? Because it was that awkward moment. So I don't actually think this is the biggest of nerfs. Jackie's receiving a nerf to her health. Her overall health right now is 10,000. It's being nerfed to 9,400, which is a 6% nerf. I'm not really surprised, because in just the majority of player base, they always think that Jackie is really strong. In pro play, there's so many cheesy compositions with Jackie, and she's just running through everything right now in so many different game modes. So the health nerf is quite, I'd say it's relevant. She probably needed it. I would have actually rather gone for her pneumatic booster gadget cooldown just a little bit, because she can spam that out too much, but it's definitely a welcome nerf. Lastly on the nerf list we have Juju. She's receiving another nerf to her super charge rate. It now takes an extra shot depending on whether you're on land or whether you're on the other elements. It just takes an extra shot. So before it takes 6 hits to get her super, now it will take 7 hits instead. And then when you're on water or you're in the grass, it will take 8 hits instead of the 7 that it was before. So an extra hit overall. This is going to mean a little more in the fact that you should be able to close down Juju a little bit better, but still her pet is annoying. Now we're going to be moving on to the 2 reworks briefly, because we already knew a lot about this through Brawl Talk, but Doug received 3 changes if you missed it. So he's going to be able to have the healing trait, so he can heal just like Barry, heal him or his teammates, and he can charge his super through that. His super also homes in on teammates. Basically, he cannot miss, and his star powers change, so when your ally fully, well, just revives, he fully heals himself. That is just absolutely insane. So if you guys were wondering, through the star power as well, you can actually gain 1/20th of your super. So basically all you need to know is if you heal yourself 4 times, you're going to do that just through trying to deal damage to the opponents as well. You can get 1/5 of your super. That is really, really good. That just means more super cycling. It's just, he's going to have infinite winners everywhere, I swear, this brawler. I'll also be going through his hypercharge in a little bit of a while, but I just think this rework is going to make Doug just completely broken. The other rework is with Brawl. So as seen in Brawl Talk, his super has a variable distance. It depends, well, if you hit an enemy, your charge just fully stops, and it still slows the enemies. So if you're just going to super swarm point blank, it's going to get that knockback in, which is going to be pretty good, but it just feels really, really weird. A lot of people are complaining about it. They just rather you wouldn't stop if you hit somebody, but still have that slow at the end of it. That might be a change they make in the future. We'll see how it plays out. But then also Stomper gadget was reworked, so it stuns enemies on impact instead. And you have this little circle at the end. I was just really confused in Brawl Talk, but it just slows people in that area, which of course makes sense. I don't know why I thought that, but it only deals damage if you hit the person. So this will be a really good change for Brawl. I don't know whether it's going to make him like completely broken, but because he's just still really easy to take down. But in a 1 versus 1, he's going to be a demon. So now we're going to be ranking all of the new hypercharges coming with the update. These are going to be released in 2 batches. I don't know which ones are going to be released first. They've not really said, but we're going to be ranking them and how strong I think they are. Of course, this can be a lot different when I actually test them out in game in the live build, but this is just first glances. So let's take a look at Chuck's first. So Chuck's hypercharge is called Full Steam Ahead. And with this hypercharge, you have unlimited range on your next dash. So just think of it, I'm not a good Chuck and I don't know the placements, but just think of it in Heist, for example, maybe where you've got some really good, you got a really good setup and you can hit that high safe 3 times, which probably won't really happen in pro play, but you get what I mean. You can then use your hypercharge super to fly all the way from spawn all the way to that 3 hit setup, and it's just really good for that reason. And you also throw out some steam as you go along this trail as well, which deals 200 damage. It's not really a lot. This hypercharge takes 8 supers to charge up. It's obviously really weird with Chuck because he gets it automatically, but you get what I mean. You throw out your post and you deal some damage. It takes around 8 supers or 13 pieces of ammo. It takes a very long time to charge up. That's why I think it's going to be terrible. I don't even think it's that great of a hypercharge either. It has some good use cases, maybe in Hot Zone and some other instances. Maybe it can be pretty toxic, say in Bounty if you're spawn trapping people. I think people are going to have good use cases for it. But I just don't know whether you're even going to be able to charge this in a game. Honestly, it probably needs an emergency buff because it's just going to take forever to charge this up. And number 8, I went with Lumi's hypercharge called Drum Solo. So with its hypercharge super, there's an extra blast on both sides. So it just makes it pretty much impossible to miss. But at the same time, there's not anything kind of extra about it. It's just maybe like an extra stun. Maybe you can get like a couple of people caught in between that instead of just a 1 person. I mean, it is good. It's a good one. It's just not as flashy as the other ones that have been released. There's so many good hypercharges. So it takes 2.25 supers to charge up, which is pretty fast. So it's very, very fast. And it's Lumi. Lumi didn't receive any nerfs, and she's got a hypercharge on top of this. I'm really dumbfounded. I know there's a lot of brawlers that could become broken with hypercharges and buffs, but it just feels kind of wild that she hasn't received any kind of nerfs. So yeah, this is just a good hypercharge. Not anything crazy, nothing terrible. It's just good. 7th best new hypercharge coming out is Mo's hypercharge. So this is called the Big Cheese. So Mo's driller has a longer range and it lasts for longer, and it also just flies out much quicker. So kind of like Lily. I forgot to add this in the description. It's just so fast, so you're going to be able to catch people off guard really, really quick. It takes 3 supers to charge this up, so I would say that it can be pretty long, especially if you're using the dodgy digging gadget. It's going to feel even longer because you're going to be able to farm supers quicker, but that doesn't actually charge up your hypercharge any quicker, if that makes sense. But you just become so incredibly fast. If you pair this with the 2nd star power speeding ticket, which you already get increased driller speed movement, you're just going to be flying around the map so incredibly fast. The added range to this Hypercharge is okay, but still for the most part, you just want to use that super to knock them back and then quickly go back into the other form and burst them down quickly. So I think it's going to be pretty good. In 1 versus 1s, it's going to be pretty good as well, but it doesn't charge that fast. That's probably the biggest thing. And the Hypercharge super itself with the Driller having additional range isn't really that useful. 6th best new Hypercharge coming with the update is Bonnie's Hypercharge called Daredevil. So Bonnie's Hypercharge, she will stun enemies upon firing her cannon form. So you fire out that Hypercharge super wherever, if anyone's near you, they get stunned, and then when you land down, on impact, you stun for a second as well. So you can not really stun lock people, but you can just get a free kill confirmed on a lot of different brawlers, and she also spits out some damage both when you jump and you land as well, which is pretty nice. So overall, it's nothing like completely game breaking, but you got to think with the additional damage boost that you get on top of this 25%, the stun, the extra little bit of damage, she's just going to be able to take out a lot more tankier brawlers, which you probably wouldn't have before, or maybe some other brawlers that have like a really powerful quick super. You can still probably risk it and jump on top of them. The great thing about this as well, it only takes 8 hits to charge with Hypercharge, so technically 2 supers without the supercharge gear, which is really good. Yeah, this is definitely a strong Hypercharge. It being number 6 doesn't mean that it's weak, by the way. It's definitely like, I'd say, A tier Hypercharge. It's going to boost her even more in the meta. She's fully back now. So now moving on to the 5th best new Hypercharge coming with the update. It is Doug's Hypercharge. It is called Free Toppings. So Doug's snack attack is also mirrored for the ally buffed with the super. I mean, I was trying to use the terminology there, but you get what I mean. So you throw your Hypercharge wiener onto somebody. Every time that you attack, it will also do the Doug attack wherever they are. That is just absolutely insane when you think about it. So the first thing that you got to think straight away is when you throw this Hypercharge super, you got to preserve your ammo, or else it's just useless. Of course it is. It only takes 2 supers to charge. 2 supers to charge when he has a healing trait on top of this. This could be the most broken. I really struggled like ranking these next 5 ones because all of them are just dumb broken in my opinion, but you're just gonna have unlimited Hypercharge wieners everywhere. I swear it's gonna be so broken. The only thing is that's stopping it again is that you got to make sure that you have that ammo available. That's the biggest drawback with it, but there's not many other drawbacks about it. I think it's going to pair really well with assassins and brawlers that can jump, because they're going to be able to get in on the action and get that extra bit of DPS. Maybe I'm even underestimating this a little bit because of how quickly you charge it, but it's broken. I think these next 5 are just all incredibly broken. So now moving into the 4th best new Hypercharge coming with an update. It is Kit's Hypercharge called Making Biscuits. So with your next Hypercharge super, you don't even, well, you can just jump in that little circle radius and it will stun them no matter what, and you'll be able to attack whilst they're stunned. So you won't go into this weird cat fight where, you know, both enemies are both of you are just locked and none of you can shoot. Now you can jump, stun, and kill them really quickly. It's going to be really good for just being an assassin with Kit. And then if you want to use the support version of Kit with the Hypercharge, you can jump on top of somebody and they get additional healing and you get much further range. It is insane. And for that full duration, I think it's what, 15 seconds, you keep the Hypercharge super. So with other brawlers like Draco or RT or just any Hypercharge brawlers, after that 5 seconds is over, you go out of that Hypercharge super form, if that makes sense. But with Kit, you keep it, so that's even stronger. Imagine this in knockout. The biggest drawback with Kit though is it takes 8 hits to build up this Hypercharge. That's only technically 2 supers, but it doesn't charge automatically. I mean, you probably can just go really aggressive with Kit, to be honest, to get the Hypercharge, and that is probably GG when you think about it, because that extra healing is very, very toxic. So yeah, I don't know how I was supposed to rank these top 5, because all of them just sound so broken. Next up is the 3rd best new Hypercharge coming to the update. We have Shade's Hypercharge called the Frightener. So with this Hypercharge super, it means you can deal maximum damage with every single hit. So normally with Shade, you have that critical area where you deal double the damage. It doesn't matter. You can just deal that every single hit, which is insane. And with the damage boost on top of it, that's 4k damage per hit, guys. 4k damage, and yes, it works with the gadget. So you can have an extra range hit, which is going to deal 4k. You're going to be able to cycle through supers, and the broken thing is, it takes 2 supers to charge, and you can charge this automatically. This is yeah, worrying times, especially on maps which Shade were already good on. He's going to be completely done broken and just an instant ban every single time, like triple dribble. There's loads of maps with loads of walls where he can just dominate on. It's not going to make him much better on those longer range maps, but he's just going to be so toxic on the right map. Honestly, he's going to be able to melt through tanks. The fact that you can just kill pretty much every single brawler in the game with 3 pieces of ammo through walls, yeah, Shade's going to be meta, guys. Enjoy it. So now jumping into the second best hypercharge coming with the update, it is RT's hypercharge. So if we're talking pure, like, mechanically about this hypercharge, it is the best by far. The biggest drawback straight away, guys, that it takes 4 supers to get, which is, I believe, 16 shots to charge up, which is a lot when you think about it. It is probably going to take the whole game to charge this up, but once you get it, it's completely broken. There's no counterplay to it. You just melt absolutely everything on the map. It has to be one of the most broken hypercharges of all time. I can't believe, I don't want them to release this in its current form. Honestly, I'm not even overreacting. It's just completely busted. Where's the counterplay? The only counterplay to this is purely by running away. That's the only way that you stay away from this. The radius is insane. The amount of damage that you can get is insane. It also marks them when it hits them with this lasers. I don't know what is even going on, guys. I'm honestly just dumbfounded by how broken this is. Insane damage. There could be lots of different ways to use this as well. You can actually pop your hypercharge. So say if you're already splitting legs and you manage to get your hypercharge, you can just click the hypercharge button. You don't even need to click hypercharge and then super. You just click the hypercharge button and then lasers just appear out of nowhere. So yeah, have fun with this. RT probably is going to be completely and utterly broken. And finally, moving on to the best new hypercharge coming with the update, it is Draco's hypercharge called Fire and Flames. So Draco's hypercharge super has more flames in a wider area with much longer range. So just take a look at this gameplay. It is just completely and utterly broken. I'm not even over exaggerating. This is so strong. It's the fact that you only have 5 seconds to use this hypercharge super, but it melts through absolutely everything. Like, I know these are bots, right? But I got a team wipe so quickly on some medium HP brawlers. They just evaporated, and it only takes 3 supers to charge up. When you think about that, that's absolutely insane. Paired with, you know, already Draco had big potential. He's good in the right matchups. But now, imagine Hot Zone. He will kill you from across the map. It's completely broken. RT's mechanically is better, but Draco's, you're going to be able to charge up much more effectively. He's got the tank trait on top of that as well. You normally pair Draco with a support brawler, so think of Hot Zone. He's just going to be unplayable. Seriously, this hypercharge is completely broken. Just to wrap up the video then, I don't know completely which maps have been removed and added. I just haven't got enough time, but I will go through a bunch of these maps, which I think are the new ones. I'm not too sure about this one. Local restaurants, we've got On a Roll as well. Storage Sector, again, I don't know whether these are new. Whisper Valet and Extreme Nonchalance. Okay, Brawl Stars, what are we doing right now? In terms of Showdown, again, I don't really play Showdown too much, but these look like new ones. They've got new environments. Waveform, I think that is a returning one. Lily Pond Grove, is that a new one? I don't even know. Like, look at these. If you want to look at them. Heist, plain text, is that a new one? I don't think it is. Subway Turfers, okay. Zip Zap Zoom, Why Are the Teleports and Heist, Corner Cave, I believe that is one returning. We've got Brace for Impact, I don't know whether that's a new one. Starburst, I think that is a new one, but with some weird, I don't even want to call it them fast things. Grass Knot, is that one returning? I don't know whether that's supposed to be the name there. Sidetrack, Spiraling Out, so I think the return of a few Rooftop Runners, that is one that's already there. So not really a lot of changes in Brawl, I believe. We've got Soul Collect, I'm not going to go through that. Trophy Thieves, I don't really want to go through the maps of these, but I mean, they're there. Spirit Wars is returning. Brawl Arena, there's 2 new maps, I believe, so here is one. Okay, that is very interesting. That is definitely pretty cool map. And then this one as well, so the cars use over. Okay, that is definitely more interesting. I wanted to see different maps with the new MOBA. In terms of Hot Zone, I think that is one that's already there. I think that's one that's already there. In the, I don't even know what that's called, Playmaker. Yeah, okay, so Knockout H4, that is definitely one that's in there already. Double Decker, that sounds like a new one, or it's Streets with No Name. Okay, I don't like the diagonal, whatever you call it, them type of spawns. Where are we now? We're knockout 5 versus 5. Okay, I'm trying to fly through it. Cool off the water. Let's keep going. Basketball, we don't really care. Volleyball, we don't really care. Duels, are there any new ones? Search and destroy, I don't know. I don't play duels too much, but it's still in the game. Wipeout, we don't care about wipeout. Brawl hockey, those are, I think, the same ones. Slippery slap, I can't remember that one, but the rest of them do ring a bell. And bouncy bowl. Token run, we don't really care too much. 5 versus 5 Brawl hockey. I'll quickly show you this because this is a new game mode coming out, which they didn't say in the Brawl talk, but could be pretty exciting. The spawn points are a little bit wild in some of these, but Brawl hockey 5 versus 5, I'll definitely give that a go. Treasure hunt, we've got dodge brawl as well, but that is it. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video, guys. Again, if you want to enter into my door giveaway, just comment door in the comment section below. But yeah, that's gonna be it, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.